Yes, welcome in everyone. Week number 4 of the full 10 questions for you. Tim back once again to defend the full 10 yards reputation after winning the international matchup last week. We've gone a little bit closer to home this week though, and it's podcast versus podcast as we welcome in this week's competitor from the Kickers Matter side of things. Jack, how are you, matey?
Yeah, I'm doing great, guys. How are you two?
Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Not too bad at all. Well, I'm doing all right as long as Tim keeps up his end of the bargain here and gets some of these questions right.
I mean,
Uh,
he shouldn't struggle against me. So
famous last words, mate. Famous last
Yeah.
words.
I mean,
Let's,
to be fair, I'm 2-1. Like, come on, give me, cut me. I'm doing better than the Cowboys and the Giants put together.
well, yeah, that's not hard though, mate. Is it? Let's be
No,
honest.
no, I've just got to turn up to be quite honest.
we've set the bar low, fellas. We have set the bar low indeed. Right, we're all good to go. The questions have been loaded. The boys are already in the app, of course. So let's share the questions with the fellas and share them with you at home. And let's start week number 4's version of the full 10 questions. Boys, good luck indeed. So here we go then with question number 1. How many touchdowns were scored in the Browns at Cowboys game? Were there 9, were there 10, were there 11, or were there 12 touchdowns?
Oh, God.
So obviously plenty of points on the board in this one, but how many actual touchdowns were scored?
Oh, could be.
Ooh, neither of you found the right one there.
ah,
11 touchdowns, 6 for Cleveland, 5 for Dallas, obviously in a bit of a thriller. We talked about it plenty on the podcast this week, and Tim, I promise I will not say any more about it, mate. This week, I've had my I've had my time. Let's move on to question number 2, and let's see if we can get some points on the scoreboard. Which player caught the second of Brett Rippon's touchdown passes for the Broncos against the Jets? Was it Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, or Melvin Gordon? Obviously, got to think back a week, fellas, to Thursday night football from a week ago. Who was the
I
man that
don't know
caught
that
the
one,
second one?
I went Jerry Judy.
Jerry Jeudy was the red herring.
but
He was the one that got the first one. He obviously
Yeah.
did the Randy Moss-esque catch over the top of the cornerback Pierre Desir. But Tim Patrick had a fairly nice day, to be fair. He's got to be said. I think he went over 100 yards receiving, and yeah, he caught the second touchdown grab.
He won me some money on DFS actually.
Excellent, mate.
Very nice.
Excellent. That's always what we like to hear. Anybody winning money is always good. Tim's on the board then. Come on, Jack. Let's see if you can catch him up here then. Which Eagles player turned a Nick Mullins pass into a pick six interception? Was it Rodney McLeod, Nickel Roby Coleman, Creveon LeBlanc? I've probably done that name an awful pronunciation. Or Alex Singleton? That's a better one to pronounce.
oh, I can't remember that one. I looked at the pick sixes. I looked at the Tampa Bay games. So I thought you might go with that one.
Mm,
I'll go with that one.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, one of you's got it right. It was Alex Singleton. The other man to get an interception in that game was Rodney McLeod. 2 of the Nick Mullins passes were intercepted, but it was Alex Singleton that turned his into a pick six. So Jackie's off the board and running. Question number 4, fellas. Who logged the most rushing attempts for the Ravens against Washington in week 4? Was it Lamar Jackson? Was it Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, or J.K. Dobbins?
Is this Washington? Jackson had the long one.
Got a funny feeling it's someone. Yeah, I won't say another one.
Ah,
It was Gus the Bus
Yeah.
between those two. Yeah,
Nine.
yeah.
9 rushing attempts for Gus, 8 for Mark Ingram, 7 for Lamar Jackson, and 5 for J.K. Dobbins. Obviously, a fantasy player's nightmare, that backfield, isn't it? Let's be
Yeah.
honest, boys. No
That
idea
got
who's going to get what from one week to the next.
that got my co-host Mr. Byram very happy. He's a big Gus Edwards fan.
I picked him up in a couple of leagues. He didn't actually score many fantasy points despite getting the most carries, but there you go.
No.
All the injuries I've had at running back, I'm basically playing anybody this week, let's be honest. Jack takes the lead. Come on, Timmy boy. Let's see what we can do. Question
Here he
5, fellas.
comes. Yeah.
Question 5 will be your picture round. So the picture will slowly appear in front of you. Obviously, you need to just type in the answer to who you believe is in the image. So here we go. Question 5. Who is in this week for image? Loving the concentration on both of your faces here, fellas. There we go. The boys have both gone. And have they both got it right?
It's going to be Hig.
It is Cooper
I
Cup.
was. Ah, come on! You can't give me the cup.
I'm not going to give you. I'm not
Boo.
going to give you the cup, mate. There it is. There's Cooper Cup. Plenty of concentration on his face there, hauling that one in. So yeah, Cooper Cup is the right answer.
That is shocking.
You've been playing it 3 weeks now. You know that I take a full person's name, Tim. Don't start. Question 6. Which quarterback threw for more yards in the Bills at Raiders game? Was it Derek Carr or was it Josh Allen?
I feel like this is a trick question, but yeah, it was.
No such thing as a trick question. Might be some tricky answers, but there's no trick questions. It was Derek Carr, 311 to Josh Allen's 288. So the comeback is on. Nice one, Tim. Question 7, fellas. Robert Tonyan scored 3 touchdowns for the Packers, but what was his longest touchdown grab? Was it 21 yards, 26 yards, 31 yards, or 36 yards? He's obviously come on over the last couple of weeks in the absence of some of the other key Packers receivers. Looks like he had a big game. His longest one, 31 yards. There we go. Oh, didn't get the question. Didn't get the scoreboard. Don't know what's happened there, fellas.
Didn't get the scores.
Must crack on to say which
Suspense.
receiver did not record 100 yards receiving in week 4. Devontae Parker, Jamison Crowder, Terry McLaurin, or Robbie Anderson. So which one didn't record 100 yards receiving?
Pretty sure. Gotta go with you. Between two.
It was Robbie Anderson. All of those guys had decent games, it's got to be said. Terry McLaurin, 118 yards. Devontae Parker, 110. Jamison Crowder, 104. Robbie Anderson, 99. So very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, Robbie Anderson.
I knew it was between Crowder and Anderson because I knew Crowder had a hell of a lot of targets, but he doesn't usually turn it into a lot. And so I went,
Yeah, Robbie Anderson just coming up short. We still haven't got a scoreboard, boys. Maybe the scoreboard's broke. We'll see what happens.
Suspense.
Question 9. Which of these quarterbacks had the highest rated in a losing effort in week 3? Was it Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, or CJ Beathard?
Highest rating.
So which one had the highest QB rating?
Pretty sure he was quite high, but I can't remember how high he was in compared to those two guys.
Both got that one right. It was indeed Justin Herbert. He had a rating of 137.9 and just been named officially the starting quarterback for the Chargers moving forward. And about time too, if I do say so myself. There was somebody that got 158.3 rating this week, fellas. Anybody want to guess who it was?
Was it like a punter or something?
You should know, Tim. It was Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said you were going to leave that after question 1.
I promise I'll leave it now. Right then, boys. Final question. Hopefully we get a scoreboard at the end of this, because otherwise I've got no idea how I'm going to determine the winner, but that's the joys of technology. Let's see how we got on. There we go. We've got a scoreboard. So, Tim in the lead. Jack, you definitely need to get this one right to stand any chance, mate, of pulling this back.
Yep.
Final question is, can you put these players into order? And what I want is the defenders in order of sacks in week 3. So start with the player that got the most and end with the player that got the least. So drag your colours on your keypads and then press your enter button. So we've got Frank Clark, Bradley Chubb, Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett.
I know the first two.
Yeah.
So one of you's got it right, one of you's got it wrong. The correct answer is Zadarius Smith was first. He got 3 sacks. Bradley Chubb got 2.5. Myles Garrett got 2. And Frank Clark just the solitary 1. So that's the end of the quiz. And we have thankfully got a scoreboard back. As usual, nobody finishes in 3rd place in a 2-horse race, but finishing 2nd with 4 out of 10. It is Jack. So Tim, you improves to 3-1 on the year.
Well done, Tim.
Still only 6 out of 10, though, my friend. Still a bit more research required, I think, for next week. But
Well, I think we'll call that 7 out. We'll call that 7 out of 10. But we'll keep a cup.
Oh, go on then. If it makes you feel happy, you can have that one.
I think that's 3 weeks. I think that's 3 weeks before week 20. I've always got 6 out of 10.
Yeah, you're certainly consistent, mate. Certainly consistent.
Yeah.
Jack, obviously, thanks ever so much, mate, for coming on and having a go. Obviously, mentioned it earlier, part of the Kickers Motor Crew. Where can everybody find you and all the good work that you and your colleagues are up to?
I wouldn't call it good work, but you can find us at Kickers_Meta. And we have just teamed up with KingFantasySports.com. That's where all our articles and things will be from now on. So, yeah.
No, excellent, mate. Honestly, keep up the good work. Obviously, lots of good work for charity and all the rest of it as well, mate. So always a pleasure to have you on and keep up the good work that you're doing, mate. Tim,
thanks for having me on, guys.
No, absolute pleasure. Tim, well done, my friend. You've retained the crown for another week. Let's see if we can make it 3 in a row next week as we get back for week number 5. That's it for now, though, fellas. In the great words of Kevin Cadle, and again for this week, it's bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.